Right, I think we better get going. Well, my name's Edward Jones. I'm the admissions tutor for Leicester Law School. I'm so glad that you could join us today, and many apologies for previous technical problems that we had in an event that was running last week. I'm joined by my colleague Emma Gisborne, who is our Student Recruitment and Engagement Officer, and Emma will explain to you what we're going to be covering today. I'm also joined by one of our fantastic second year students, Kasim. Hello, Kasim.
Are you right?
All right. Okay, so let's get going. A big welcome to Leicester Law School. Now, here's what, there we go. Here's what we're going to cover. And Emma will explain a little more about that in a moment. Like I said, I'm the admissions tutor. I also teach on the LLB course. I teach employment and property courses. I'm qualified as a solicitor, and I'm so glad that you're able to join us and applied to join us too. It was a pleasure to be able to offer you a place. I really hope that you will be coming in September and join our supportive community of experts. So Emma, can you explain what we're going to be covering today, please?
Hello, yes. So we're going to talk a little bit about your LLB and how you learn at the Leicester Law School. We're going to hear about the Leicester Law School experience. We're going to talk a little about what to do before law school, and also we're going to finish off with a Q&A. So you'll hear from Kasim a little bit about what the students do at law school. But if you've got any questions during the chat, just pop them in the meeting chat, and there'll also be an opportunity to put your mics on at the end if you want to ask us anything. So a warm welcome. I'll pass you back to Edward.
Super. Thanks very much, Emma. Now, as you can't join us in person at Leicester Law School, we wanted to make sure that you have a chance to look around. Two of our students have recorded a video for you so that you can see what it's like at Leicester Law School and see all of the various facilities. So I'll just play that now. Emma, can you let me know if you can't hear the sound?
Hi, I'm Leia.
Hi, I'm Roshan. We're both law students, and we're at the Field & Johnson building, the heart of the Leicester Law School. The law school's in the middle of campus, right next to the Students' Union. Let's take a look inside and see the spaces where you'll learn.
Sorry, that was me.
Hi, I'm Leia.
Hi, I'm Roshan. We're both law students, and we're at the Field & Johnson building, the heart of the Leicester Law School. The law school's in the middle of campus, right next to the Students' Union. Let's take a look inside and see the spaces where you'll learn all about the law and develop your legal skills.
The law school reception is home to support staff who can answer any questions you have, especially during the first few weeks.
And the dedicated law support team can point you in the right directions if you have any issues with accessibility, mental health or academic issues. They offer weekly drop-in sessions as well. So this is the Harry Peach Library. It has a classic law school feeling and is also a great place for law students to study, and it's nice and quiet as well. So the library was named after Harry Peach. He was born in Canada but was a Leicester businessman. He's actually one of the university's founders as well. This library is next to the main library, which has a cafe, lots of books and journals, and also group study rooms. This library also has a law librarian who can help you out with books and journals that you need to find in your independent study. You will spend a lot of time in these libraries doing independent research and reading.
There's a modern side to our law school too. Here in our technically equipped courtroom, you can practice running a trial and arguing your case. You can compete with students from Leicester and other universities in extracurricular activities with our award-winning Leicester University Law Society too. It's just like the courts in which you'll appear when you start work. You can even record yourself to help you improve.
Here's the Grand Debating Chamber. It's a great place for competitions as well as career networking events. I really love the grand feeling in here. It's almost like running a Supreme Court appeal.
Tutorial and seminars are in small rooms like this one. You work in small groups or pairs, conduct debates, and even talk through sample questions with your tutor. It's fantastic to have small groups of 8 to 12 for tutorials, as it allows you to get to know each other and your tutor really well. If you have questions or uncertainties about the law, they can easily be resolved.
This is a typical lecture theatre. Here, expert lecturers will explain the background law that you'll go on to research in your independent study. They will also break up complex issues that will make it easier for you to digest. Lots of lectures are also interactive. The lecturer may ask us to work in pairs, raise our hands, or work in small groups about the legal issue at hand.
You can volunteer in the Legal Advice Clinic as an extracurricular or even take it as an optional module, like I did. You'll be supervised and guided by qualified solicitors. In the clinic, you'll give advice to the local community and fellow students in need. You'll help with real-life problems at work, landlord and tenancy deposits, consumer rights and immigration, as well as divorce and family breakdowns. This has been such a valuable experience, and you get to solve real-life problems whilst working as a lawyer, which can really help your career. Hello, welcome to the Legal Advice Clinic. My name's Leah. We've really loved showing you around some of our fantastic law facilities. We hope you'll follow in our footsteps and be here yourself one day.
Emma, I think I'm going to have to ask if you can control the slides. If you can request control from me, please, because I'm struggling to deal with two screens and keep switching back and forth and my mouse won't. Super. Thanks, Emma. Okay. Great, so you've seen Leicester Law School. It's in this building that you can see on screen here. It's one of the largest law schools at a university in the UK. We have about 1,300 students, actually more than that, and around 70 academic staff. So we've got a large and culturally diverse student body. We have really strong links around the world too. The University of Leicester and the law school are highly ranked in league tables. We're a top 20 law school in The Guardian, out of over 100 UK universities which teach law. We're proud to be in this league table ahead of some of our nearby neighbours too. Now, The Guardian takes into account student experiences, so we think this is a really good indicator for you. Now, why are we so well respected? Well, among my colleagues are very many professors, academics, solicitors, barristers, and even judges who will help you. They give a really well-balanced perspective of both the theory and the practical implications of the law. Now, these carry out a great range of legal research at the cutting edge, so they teach you exactly what's happening in law at the moment, what's working and what isn't working too. They know the things that you need to know about for the future of law. So you'll be guided by people who really know how the law works, how it applies to real life clients like solicitors and barristers like me, and also how it doesn't work and how the law should change. So professors who work on research, advise the government, and bodies like the Law Commission about how the law should change will be teaching you. I think I might have worked out how I can do this, Emma, so I might not need to call on you, but we'll see. Now, when you join us, you'll be joining a long tradition of working towards positive change. This year, you may have seen in a lot of the publicity that you've received, we're proudly celebrating the centenary year of the university. We began about 100 years ago in this very building that you can see on screen. That's the old military hospital, and it's now part of the university. So it was originally a hospital to repair people who had had their lives shattered by the First World War. And since then, we've been using the power of education to shape positive change both locally and throughout the world. We hope that you'll enjoy becoming part of that shared history by developing the skills that are required to work with people who really need professional services, whether that's in the legal professions or work related to law. And whether you're advising people in their businesses or their personal life, or perhaps like many of our founders, you want to develop these skills so that you can run your own business, your own law firm, or your own barristers' chambers, or perhaps even be a politician and run the country in the future. In that role, you could be working for positive change across the globe. If that's what you're interested in, then you've come to the right place. Now, when you come, please do explore Leicester too. It's a fantastic student city with 2 universities in the city centre. It's really geared up for students. The campus is just 20 minutes walk away from the city from the very centre of the city, and it's even closer to the railway station. So you're never far away from the action. And if you do go to the railway station, it's only about an hour to get to London. So you can get the London experience with a significantly lower cost of living. Leicester is the 10th biggest city. There's always something going on, but it's also small enough for you really to be able to get to know it. It's a very walkable city. We're also famous for being one of the most diverse cities in the country. This means that there's much to do, see and experience that we think you'll have no trouble falling for it, whatever your interests are. And if you're a local, it's great that you've decided to stay. Now, you don't have to wait to come here before you see what the city's like. You can take a walking tour on YouTube using the link that's on screen now. You can also contact our students on Unibuddy through le.ac.uk/chat. They'll be very happy to tell you more, but we will hear a little from Kasim later. So you'll be able to find out about things like the on-campus art centre, the nightclub. We're the only UK university with an O2 nightclub on campus right next to the law school, about the law courts that you can visit, and things like the heritage museums, the space centre, the independent cinemas, as well as the big names. There are some things in Leicester that are quite unique too. There's jungle golf that you can see on screen. I bet you've not played jungle golf before. That's a bit of a challenge, I have to tell you. And our local museum has a huge dinosaur, and of course the skeleton of Richard II that you might have seen. Was it Richard III? My history is never a strong point. Now, what you're probably most interested in is finding out a bit more about your LLB. I often get questions about the structure of the course and the way that you learn at Leicester Law School, so we'll give you a small insight into that. The detailed course structures are on our website, so please do have a look at those for your particular things that you're interested in, but I'll give you a basic overview. You'll see that there are many ways that you can shape your degree to suit your intended future at Leicester. And if you are not sure what your future will be at Leicester, you can explore many different options. So I'll give you some insight into those too. Now, I can reassure you that all of our LLB degrees fulfil the requirements to progress to courses to prepare for the Solicitor's Qualifying Exam in England and Wales and the bar courses. That might be a qualification that you're intending to take to many countries with legal systems based on the common law system, and it's valid in many countries all around the world. So all of the degrees include the essential subjects. It's at the option stage where things change depending on your degree. And I should say, if you have any questions about any of the modules or any of the course structures, please do ask questions in the chat. Emma and Kasim will be very happy to answer those. So you have the compulsory subjects. These are on screen right now, and they focus on the system of law and human rights. That's in constitutional law. The law that governs the relationship between you and the state, that's administrative law, and criminal law includes that too. The ways in which the government uses law to control behaviour. You'll cover the law that governs the relationship between the UK state and its neighbours, that's EU law. And you might, well, also explore a little bit more of that sort of thing if you choose Canadian law options. And the EU law module necessarily includes the relationship between the Canadians' legal system and EU too. Now, you study the law about relationships between people that are agreed in contract law, or where they haven't agreed the relationship in advance in tort, for things like medical negligence and professional negligence and other forms of negligence. You look at the law between people who own and use land, and there's equity too. That's a bit of a special one. It's the rules about what you have to do if you're looking after somebody else's property. These are in every law degree. So every LLB that's in England and Wales must cover these subjects. What makes Leicester's 3-year law degree special is that you study analysing law and law, justice and society. Many other degrees include a module about the English legal system. We don't. In fact, we've got the English and Welsh legal system here, so we have a global outlook, even beyond England and Wales. You learn not just about the English legal system and the rules that were created by old, mostly white men. You do learn about that, but you look at law across the world and its effect on all sorts of people. To help you develop ideas of what justice means and what legal systems should be, not just what old white men think it should be, you consider law and its place in society, in analysing law and law, justice and society. You take the basics further in your first year and you learn about the concepts of criminal justice and the impact of law and administration of justice on everyone in society, in law, justice and society. So you'll learn why certain crimes exist and the impact of criminalising behaviour. Unlike many law degrees, that means you can leave criminal law until the second year. Our head of school and other experts here are the writers of the best criminal law textbook that you'll use when you're studying. So we save criminal law until you have the skills to analyse the most complex issues in criminal law. But you can still learn them in this very interesting topic of law, justice and society in your first year. So you kind of get a double dose of criminal, which many students really enjoy. Now, in all but the degrees where you spend only 2 years at Leicester, you can choose from a wide range of options too. If you're interested in one of the 2-year degrees, because you already have a degree, or you're planning to study on the Magistrates in France with Strasbourg, then please do ask questions about that, and we can have a chat at the end too about the way that the options work there. So you can really find what that little something special is that will help you become your future professional self. I've put on screen a list of the current options that are available. I think you would agree that there is something for everyone, and this results from the large number and the range of expertise of our teaching staff. For example, from the first column, you can see that you can focus on the solicitor's profession, corporate world and the international world of law. In the middle column, you can see some options which focus on legal theory, and perhaps if you were looking for a career as an academic, then those are great for you there. There's the ones that are focused on the barrister's profession in the middle, at the bottom there. And the ones in the right-hand column focus much more on people, practical problem solving in the legal advice clinic too, medical law and much more. You can even create your own module with assistance from an expert interested in that area by choosing a dissertation. So if you don't see what you like here, you're sure to find somebody in the law school who's really focused on the area that you're interested in, and you can create your own module effectively. Now, of course, there's the opportunity to take a year abroad to discover even more optional modules, whether in the law that's relevant to another country or issues such as culture, history or the environment in another jurisdiction. Your options there will depend on where you choose to go and what that university has to offer. More about the year abroad later. Now, if you're looking at LLB with criminology or LLB with politics, here are our current options. I'm sure you'll find something very exciting there. With modern language, you'll mix modern language skills with law options, and you'll have a compulsory year abroad during which you can study cultural, legal, historical and environmental issues while you study your language, surrounded, totally embedded in the language of your choice. Leicester is pretty unique on the modern languages front in that provided you have a proven ability in one language other than English, you can even start a new one. So for example, if you've done very well in your French A-level and you decide that you want to do Italian as your focus for your modern language, then that's permitted. If you have a place on the English and French law double degree, then you'll choose your options in your final year at Strasbourg. So on the subject of going abroad, we thought it would be great for you to hear from one of our students who has been abroad. Taking this optional year abroad in your third year, or compulsory if you're on the law with modern language, costs around a quarter of the normal course fees. And students who are resident in England and Wales can get support from the UK government to help with things like fees and travel too. And that might be available depending on where you live, if you're outside of those countries. It can make a big difference to your university life and your life after graduation. Our student who's been on a year abroad, Sophia, will be able to tell you why.
Hi, my name is Sophia Adedoyan and I'm a fourth year student. I spent my year abroad at the University of Hong Kong. So I think my time in Hong Kong was absolutely amazing. I can't recommend it enough. Going to Hong Kong has made me become more independent. When I was before I'd gone to Hong Kong, I was really reliant on my parents, but being abroad where you can't just turn around and go home so quickly really helped me to be able to establish myself and find true independence and become my own person. I am able to deal with things as they come. Whenever as there's a situation, I'm able to sort of assess what's going on and move forward. It's a great talking point when I go into interviews and looking for graduate positions. It's really helped me to have something to talk about, but also it's something that means a lot to me. So when I'm speaking to these employers, it comes across as genuine and authentic because I've had an amazing time. I've traveled to several different places, from Taiwan, the Philippines, you name it. It's been an amazing time just for me to really learn more about myself and learn more about the world. And I believe that's really instrumental because employers are looking for people who have a global mindset and understand what it's like to work in different working conditions, work with different people from all over the world. So I think that having a year abroad under your belt really sets you apart in that regard. And I think that's worked for me because this year I've been able to secure 2 legal internships in international firms. So I think that it's an amazing experience, and I urge anyone who is interested in doing so to try to get involved and see what it's like. All the best.
So if you want to know more about the different locations, do have a look at the website that's on screen, and the bottom link gives you more information if you've got a place on the dual degree, which awards you the LLB and the Magistrates qualification in Strasbourg. Now, I'd like to give you a flavour of what it's like to study at Leicester Law School, to give you some insight into the teaching. Here, we really focus on making sure that you have close contact with your tutor. The community of supportive experts will allow you to develop the skills that you really need in order to shape your own legal future. And I've got stuck with my slides, Emma. Do you mind moving that one on for me, please? Thank you. So back one. You might be able to use the arrow keys on your keyboard. There we go. Lovely. Thank you. We have professionals from practice, like I said, like me, solicitors, barristers, even judges, and academic experts here, as well as linking up with academic experts in other institutions around the globe. And this all makes a community that will share expertise with you. You're taught by experts at the forefront of research in their area. So you learn the latest research into what is and is not, but should be happening in the world of law, criminology, politics and modern language. And I think that's why research-led teaching is a great way to learn law. We have a focus on small group teaching, which results in very good staff-student ratios. And with that close contact with your tutor, you'll have your voice heard, questions answered, as well as building your confidence in an encouraging learning environment. You'll have opportunities to rehearse your arguments in a class where it's okay to make mistakes and share differing views. The unique learning opportunities include working with employers to facilitate you finding short placements. So work in law firms during your holidays and mini pupilages at barristers' chambers. That's between your study periods, and you can take your year abroad as well. Of course, there's the law with modern language, compulsory year abroad and Magistrates too. So overall, we focus on a supportive learning environment with staff-student collaboration. The support available really eases the transition from school and your previous study to university law degree level. So now we're going to hear from Kasim about how we've in a moment we'll hear from Kasim about how we've helped him with his transition to university studies. But I am often asked, I've got stuck with my mouse, I'm often asked how we actually deal with the day-to-day teaching and what a typical week looks like. I've shown it here. At Leicester Law School, every student studies 4 modules at a time, and a first-year student can expect to have about 10 to 12 hours of lecture-style teaching. This is also recorded. That allows you to review it again and during revision. The tutorials are in really small groups, and if you need really small groups, so just a couple of you need some support, or you want a one-to-one with your tutor, we have office and feedback hours available if you need to ask for help. About a third of your work is independent of your tutor, but can be with other students. There's lots of group work going on around the law school and the university library right next door, including rooms that you can book for group study. The other third of your week can be spent developing other skills. So that could mean that you spend time at a networking event within the Leicester University Law Society, a society especially for law students, and a pro bono society. In that, you might, for example, be working in the legal advice clinic, assisting in the community, or perhaps alternatively preparing for a competition, doing your best to win that and perhaps win a prize that gives you a placement to work within a law firm for a short period. And some of those placements are exclusive to Leicester students. For example, we have a relationship with Morgan Stanley, an international bank, and they offer 6-week placements for students. And many of the students who've worked there during that placement have achieved a training contract with Morgan Stanley as a result. So that time, that extra third in your week, that can be used to develop other professional skills too, such as sport, involvement with a non-law society at the university, or similar things outside of the university, perhaps working in the community or carrying out relevant paid work, such as the work that Kasim is doing today, working as one of our student ambassadors. Now, your teaching will work in a pretty typical approach that most UK law degrees follow, having lectures and tutorials. Here at Leicester, you'll have particularly small groups. Your lectures introduce topics and examine the complex areas, and you'll have your small group tutorials in groups of 12 to 15 in your first year. And that's much smaller than most law schools. They allow you to examine the detail, you can really check what you need to check, have your voice heard and receive the personal support that you need. There's also larger interactive workshops where you can exchange views and ideas with more students. Some options include seminars, particularly if the area of law is more suitable for perhaps group work where you collaborate together in small clusters and then bring your ideas together, or perhaps to prepare arguments from one side or another, or present your case in court. So you have more students, but we'd never go more than about 15 to 20, even in that situation. It would just be so that we've got enough people to deal with the particular tasks that we do, especially if they're practice focused. Now you'll learn with problem-based learning, solving problems for clients as if you're in practice, and also examining in depth the current issues. I think it's probably time for us to hear about how we support the transition to law school. I get a lot of questions about this, so for example, whether it matters if you've studied A-level law or not, but I thought it's best to hear from a student. So, Kasim, can you tell us more about your experience of going from your school studies, coming to Leicester Law School, and how we supported you in your first year?
Yeah, happily. I'm Kasim. I'm a current second-year student, and I know it's been said, but if you have any questions for me, that can be about more general stuff about being a student as well, just put them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, so just thinking about the transition from sort of school into university, I think one of the first things you notice when you start in first year is you get a lot of emails, and these emails are from places like Law Support. So you'll get a weekly email from Law Support that's covering sort of a general topic of interest, something like revision or how to catch up if you sort of felt falling behind a bit, how to prepare for examinations, essays, that kind of anything that's relevant to what stage you're currently at. You'll get a weekly email with a sort of support subject around what you're doing. Beyond that, you'll also get a weekly email from Law Careers. This is really handy, maybe more sort of later on in your studies, but it gives you sort of a list of all the things available for you to do, get involved with at that moment. That can be applying for internships, the competitions that we do here at Leicester, applying for roles within the university, anything like that. It's all covered within that email. And that, again, is just a really handy way of knowing what is available to you. And even if it's not something that you are currently able to apply to, it's also just quite motivating in general, just to know what is out there and what you can look forward to in later years. Beyond that, you've got your law support team. So that is like, they give you the weekly email, but beyond that, you can reach out to them at any point in time, or any concern that you have. It doesn't have to be sort of law focused, can be sort of wider sort of studies, getting involved in the university, anything like that, and they will get back to you pretty promptly with detailed response into your query and how best they can support you, or possibly point you in a different direction of support. It's all useful stuff. Beyond that, you've also got student mentors. So one thing you'll be able to sign up for in your first year is peer mentoring, and that just involves 4 emails throughout the first term, sort of going over the social parts of the university, as well as how to make the best use of tutorials, how to make the best use of your lectures, how to make the best use of your lecturers, like how to contact them the best. All that kind of advice you'll get in sort of nice structured emails. You'll get 4 of those if you do sign up for peer mentoring, which I would recommend that you do. Beyond that, obviously from the lecturers themselves, they have office feedback hours, so you can basically contact them to arrange a meeting within those office hours. But even beyond that, a lot of the lecturers here have quite an open door policy. They're quite relaxed. So if there's anything you need at any time, you can always drop them an email or go and see them in person. So it's really handy if you're maybe struggle with something, or definitely when you start to do examinations, if you've got a grade that you're not so happy about, or there's something in your feedback that you're not quite sure about. It's always a really good time to go in and get more specific information that can really help, as well as just sort of wider general help stuff. And there's also a careers support advice sort of team, so you can book in for a careers advice appointment. I know I've done that this year. So if you have sort of a specific question about what you're thinking of doing after university, or how things work during, like what you can be doing now, anything like that, if you can book an appointment in for them, that's a really helpful way, just in case you are a bit stuck or you just got a question you want answering. As well as the careers advice team is also a wellbeing team. If you did sort of require sort of additional support, or we're looking for additional support, you can always sign up for wellbeing. That's sort of separate to law, but it's good to know that it's there. It's always handy to know where those links are, and you will be reminded how you can access that kind of support throughout your year. I think that's. Beyond that, you've got the what to do at law school, which comes in as part of your contract module. You basically get delivered this sort of information on everything you've been doing, what you should be doing at law school, how you should be playing it, what you should be looking into outside of the lectures. It's a really handy guide that is available to you, not just in your first year, but throughout your whole degree. It's always something you can go and look back on. I know that I've had to go back and look at it a few times this year just to make sure I'm doing the right kind of stuff, and if there's anything else I could be doing. That's sort of the general the ways that law support you. But you never really feel that you're on your own or in the deep end. And like Edward was saying about the tutorial groups, it's a small group, which is really handy because it's very easy to sort of get to know people, as well as obviously getting more specific tutoring. It's nice to have a little group that you can sort of know a bit better in law. So we had a group chat, like a WhatsApp chat in first year, with just a lot of us from the tutorial group, where if there was anything people were struggling with, you could always drop a message there. Just a way of communicating with other students to get more support from students. It's a really handy way of making friends and getting that kind of support, because you are ultimately in the same boat. So it's good to know that you've got that support system around you beyond just what is available to you from the law school. I think that kind of covers everything. And like I said, if you do have any further questions, by all means, just put them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kasim. So you'll join a really big and strongly supportive community. Here you can see the kind of diverse group of people that we have, and you might well want to do things outside of your studies. Now, if you do want to really embrace the fun side of university and get involved in socialising and developing professional skills, just within the law school, you can join 7 societies, including the Pro Bono Society and Leicester University Law Society. It's impossible for me to cover all of your options. So I can give you a bit of a taste of what it's like to be in the specific societies, and our students, as they're now very busy starting to get ready for the end of term and assessments that are coming up. They've recorded some videos to help you understand the kind of things that you could do and what the benefits of those are. So like I said, there's many societies at the university that cater for law kind of focus, but there are many more that cater for all sorts of different interests. So you're sure to find something that suits you. Each one of these is open to all students, so you can meet some non-law students very easily. I've just brought up here a selection that's particularly relevant to criminology, politics and modern languages. And perhaps if you're able to type nice and quickly, Emily, you might be able to put the text of the, I don't know whether you'll be able to get that from the slide, but if you could put that into the chat, it would be great. So there are lots of other societies and sports clubs covering everything from languages, national-based societies, political societies, those that could be focused around common characteristics and culture, such as the LGBT society, or campaigns such as environmental issues or debating. There's charity work societies and all sorts of sport. Right next to the law school, we've got the very leafy Victoria Park and the sports fields. These sort of wrap around the campus. Now there are even students that play Quidditch on there. Quite how they play Quidditch, I don't know, but they seem to have fun. Do visit the website, explore more about what's there. Over at the village accommodation, you'll see that there's more sports fields and sports facilities there too. But on campus, right next to the law school, there's a gym too. There's a swimming pool and a dance floor, there's gym studio, spin classes, there's weights and all sorts of things that you can do there. And if you're a student with a child, there's also a creche in the same location. So lots of facilities right on our doorstep. Doing with okay, right, so let's focus in a little bit more on one of those societies, and that's the Pro Bono, Free Legal Advice Society. Pro Bono work is a huge part of the legal community. You can work alongside legal professionals providing assistance for the common good through advice and support for both the student population, the local community and even the global community. For example, you can advise clients in the legal advice clinic. You could do that as a volunteer or as part of your degree as one of your options. You can support the local community at Leicester County Court with the Litigants in Person project or Leicester Prison. These are all student-led access to justice projects with supervision from expert practitioners. That work is supported by legal professionals, charities, solicitors, barristers and the judiciary. Because these projects are student-led, that means that there are many more opportunities than at most other law schools. There's something for everyone. You can be involved with helping vulnerable people, managing a real-life case, raising money for a charity, and first years can be involved too. The director of the Legal Advice Clinic is a solicitor, and she's assisted by a team of practitioners and an administrator. Our current administrator, Leah, and the student president of the Pro Bono Society want to share with you why it's so good to be involved in pro bono free legal advice, support and assistance. and it really is an excellent thing to do at Leicester. The Pro Bono Society has just been awarded the prize of being the best society for pro bono in the country by the Law Careers Net website. That's the leading careers website for law students. So it's the best. Let's hear why. Now, Emma, I think you might have to help me with playing that if you don't mind. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Mira and I'm the president of our Pro Bono Society. We have a myriad of projects that you can get involved with. Let me pass over to Leia.
I'm Leia, and at Leicester you can get involved with the Legal Advice Clinic. In the clinic, you'll be helping real-life clients solve real problems, you'll be gaining transferable skills, and you'll be benefiting the local community. You could also get involved with our Litigants in Person project. In this project, you'll be helping real-life clients again, assisting them with going to court, filling out forms, and also gaining transferable skills.
With Amicus, you can get involved in research into the death penalty, campaigning and fundraising initiatives. Getting involved in pro bono really helps make an impact on the society, and I definitely recommend getting involved to anyone who wishes to. I've really been able to develop my leadership and organisational skills, and it's helped me to establish that I want to be more of a human lawyer rather than a commercial lawyer, and be a solicitor rather than a barrister. So it's definitely helped me to set a vision for my own career path, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for you to help establish your goals as well. So good luck.
And we need to wish Mira, who you just heard from, good luck in a particular competition that she's been shortlisted for. She's been shortlisted for the prize of being the best law student in the country from there's just a list of 10 from various universities, and Mira is one of those. So you'll be following in her footsteps when you join us at Leicester. Now, there are a lot of pro bono projects that you might want to find out more about. Have a look at our website. I can give you a basic outline today. I think overall there's something here for everyone. Remember that first years can work in the clinic. There you sit as an apprentice, so you sit in on interviews, and the other years give the advice and assistance. You work as an administrator with them. The Litigants in Person project, in that you give advice to local citizens in the county court, even accompanying them to ensure that they make the best case that they can to the judge. You might help them with checking if they're eligible for legal aid, complete court forms to apply for a court order. You may advise somebody with a problem about their work, their landlord, going through a divorce, or being pursued for a debt. This really helps you develop the professional case management skills that are needed to be a well-rounded professional and ready to work as soon as you finish your degree. It also improves your awareness of the commercial reality of managing a case. You can work with the Citizens Advice Bureau and other pro bono lawyers. That will widen your network of contacts, and it really helps when you're making an application to be able to demonstrate the skills that are interesting for future employers. In the Prison Partnership, that works on education of prisoners within the prison. The Windrush Compensation Scheme finds people who've been mistreated by the UK Home Office and helps identify whether they might be eligible for compensation. The Magistrates Opportunity Scheme, that allows you to find out what is involved in getting onto the magistrate's bench and how you might do that as a future way of gaining experience. And Amicus, or perhaps paying back to the community as well, the Amicus Death Row Project supports with both research into death row cases and raising money. And the Miscarriages of Justice project, that checks people's files and checks people's cases to see if they have been subject to a miscarriage of justice in the UK, and reports to the client over whether they think it's worth writing to the Criminal Cases Review Commission to have their case reviewed for potentially a lower sentence or to have it overturned. The Immigration and Asylum project supports real people in desperate need in Leicester. And Street Law and Insight, those projects help community groups and schools and school children understand their legal position in relation to particular areas, or to be inspired for future careers. Project Light works with homeless people. Lawyers Without Borders is a network of supportive lawyers and law students who are seeking to expand pro bono across the globe. And the What About Me project is a new one. You can find out more about that on our website. The Climate Crisis Project is a project that is going to be working on ensuring that climate justice is served, including holding the university to account for its impact on the environment and ensuring that we improve the environment and our activities are beneficial for the environment, not merely minimising our carbon footprint. So that gives you an idea of the different kinds of pro bono activities that you can be involved in, and I really hope that you will. I mentioned the Law Society. Now, working in the pro bono is only one of the ways to develop the skills that you need for professional work. You can really get hands-on with the law and increase your employability, as well as have lots of fun. And you can see that it's an award-winning society, has been considered to be the best. There's a whole host of competitions, networking events, career workshops, trips and social events throughout the year. You'll hear from some current students with ideas about what you can do at university and the fun that you can have. So this society is really well regarded. It's supported by barristers' chambers, national firms, city and international firms and universities who run the professional training courses that you do after university. This is just some of the network of professionals who are supporting you when you join Leicester. Anna is the current chairperson. She can't be here today, but she has recorded this to show you around the Law Society office and tell you more about joining the society. Emma, could you help me with the video, please?
Hi, my name's Anna and I'm chairperson of Leicester University Law Society. Welcome to our office here at the Law School. I would recommend you joining the Law Society for a huge number of reasons. We're beneficial to you in two main ways. Firstly, we can help you build the career of your dreams by introducing you to some of the top employers. In fact, we work with Magic Circle firms, Silver Circle firms, American law firms, even companies that are not primarily legal. Additionally, we work with chambers, especially to arrange some of our wonderfully successful mooting competitions. Just this year, we have held 3 internal and 10 external mooting competitions. Taking part in as much as you can will help you make friends. And in order to help with this further, we also hold a huge number of social events, such as we had a cinema evening where we hired out the Odeon here in Leicester. We also had various pub crawls, bar crawls, and all sorts of fun events like the Law Ball, which is the highlight of every single year. So yes, join up and improve your university experience.
I think that's right. Join in and you'll have a great time. Anna mentioned mooting. This is where you practice presenting an appeal court case. You'll be able to work in environments that really make you feel like you're working like a lawyer, which is great for improving your confidence when you do it for real. And that includes getting involved in competitions that focus on oral presentation, whether in an office environment like negotiating and interviewing or mediation, or in a formal setting like the court, tribunal or a debating chamber. One of our competitions officers, Ben, wants to introduce some of these to you now. Again, Emma, can you help me with the video, please? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ben. I've been invited to speak to you what competitions the law school has to offer, in particular the Law Society, when you begin your studies at the university in September. So I'm a second year law LLB student, and I've been taking part in competitions such as mooting, mock trials and negotiation for the past 2 years now. Having done a lot of mooting in my first year and now in my second year, I can say for certain that Doing these competitions has significantly improved how I present myself. Also, it's vastly improved my advocacy skills, for example. Doing competitions has also further allowed me to engage with my studies, almost as a part of a revision itself, because I have to engage in many parts of the law that we study. For example, also competitions has allowed me to represent the University of Leicester nationally, most recently against Nottingham-Trent, for which we won our Mooting competition this year. Competitions at the University of Leicester has also allowed me to find out what I want to do as a career. At first I was unsure where I wanted to be a barrister or solicitor, but only doing competitions did I find out I had a passion for advocacy and that I want to be a barrister. All I can say is just best of luck with your future studies, and thank you.
Getting involved in sports can be great fun too, and the sports teams have put together a few words to encourage you to join them when you come.
I like law sports because it's really good for making friends within your course and across different year groups across your degree to learn more about the course and careers in the future.
It's a great way to meet people on the course while staying active.
Yeah, and especially with Leicester Law Sports, we do varsity, we get to play against other unis, and it's just a really good thing to do. And it's not really that much commitment, so you can just do it for a bit of fun or you can do it competitively. It's completely up to you.
I like law sports because being the football captain has improved my leadership and organisational skills.
I'd say it really has for Hamza. Hamza's one of my students and he's really come on in the time that he's been involved in law sports. I've seen him in the legal advice clinic and it's made a big difference to his confidence and his team skills too. So I hope that you will find the thing that you're interested in and see that there's so many different things that you can choose from. I'm sure that you'll find something that will be great for you and great for your future. And being involved in the competitions could be particularly good for your future because it's very usual for students who win the competitions to win prizes. Now there are sometimes cash prizes, sometimes technology, but sometimes they're worth more than money can buy. Work experience in law firms with barristers and judges. And here you can see a group of our students celebrating their wins. You can see just some examples of the kind of prizes that they've won on screen now. Now the socials that the Society runs, they're brilliant fun. Some include guests who are solicitors, civil servants, charity workers and barristers, which really helps with networking. And others are just pure fun. And people, when you're organising these, I hope that you will come along and get involved in organising and developing the skills that are needed for that. When people are having fun, they're always really pleased. So you might get involved in organising sponsorship, making sure that the band is great, for the food to be good quality, and it's perfect experience for future leaders. And I hope that you have ambitions to be one. You can see some of the events that have happened recently on screen now. Now, in addition to the Society and having fun at university, we do also need to think about the long-term future and perhaps what you would like to do when you leave university. Leicester has well, I would say it's quite unique really. It has multiple sources of career support that you get from students, from the student union that has a careers hub. There's the career development service at university level that covers all sorts of different disciplines and professions, and there you can get tailored and an individual service, whether it's to get assistance drafting an application, perhaps fine-tuning your covering letter, or practice how to perform in an interview or an assessment centre, which is a special way of grouping interview candidates together that's used in law interviews. There's a My Careers portal that alerts you to the opportunities that could be tailored to what you want. And in addition, you have 4 specific careers tutors for careers following on from law. Those career tutors and the career development service organise various events, including a law fair, There's a festival of careers for all careers, and the law fair is part of that, specifically for legal jobs. And there's the next step fair for final year graduates. At these, they're great opportunities for you to investigate an employer's expectations and opportunities face to face. In fact, I have experience of this when I was at university. I spoke to the graduate recruiters at the firm where I ultimately got a job, and at the interview they said, well, we already knew you, we met you at the law fair, and so we just want to know a little bit more about you, and I got the job. So this can be a really great way of breaking the ice and getting to know your future employer. You can also complete the Leicester Award for Employability Skills. This is a personal development programme to make sure that you recognise your experiences and the opportunities that are available to you, pushing you to explore more and help you understand how legal businesses operate and what clients really need. In the first year, you work towards the bronze, and you can choose to work towards the gold to make sure that you perform brilliantly in the recruitment processes. Now, this approach works. We can prove it. We can place graduates in many different kinds of employment. We can see them in the 5 Magic Circle law firms. That's the biggest law firms in the world, and the largest international firms in London, in the capital cities like Shakespeare Martineau. Shakespeare Martineau is a firm that supports our employment law placements. But it's not all about business law. We've got graduates at regional full service firms like Knights, who are nationwide, and small firms like Lodders. There's those that work in other areas like wills, business, accountancy, trademarks, patents. Others have gone on to work in research and academia, or specifically with offenders, or advising the government as a policy advisor, so working with politicians. And overseas too, you can see some examples there. So there's a myriad of career opportunities open to you. The lady that you can see on screen now is a former graduate of Leicester who now works at Twitter in their compliance team, for example. Oh, and you saw lots of other kind of careers there on screen too. At Leicester, when you graduate, you're well supported for the next stage. So you might be thinking about what to do after your degree, and one of those things might be to prepare for the solicitor's qualifying exam. Leicester graduates are in a really good position when it comes to getting a place at the top postgraduate law schools. All three, the University of Law, BPP University and Barbary, all operate guaranteed entry schemes for the SQE preparation courses. Guaranteed entry schemes are not allowed for the bar course, so the leading providers, that's the University of Law and BPP, they support Leicester students because they really want great Leicester students to join them. They know that they will perform well on the bar course. And our personal tutors are very well accustomed to providing assistance to help you obtain the funding that might be required for that, and providing references to ensure that you're in a good place to get a place on the bar course. The special ways of interviewing for the bar course, usually you need to present as if you're presenting in court or prepare a short video. And the providers of those courses train Leicester students about what to do. Now, there are masses of careers events. I'm often asked, do you do a law fair? And I think, and the rest. So I've extracted just at random 2 weeks to give you an idea of what a brilliant job the students in the Law Society, career tutors and the Career Development Service and the Student Union all do to bring together a massive range of opportunities. So just in 2 weeks, pulled at random, you can see a wide range of opportunities for you to find the kind of things that you're interested in. And you can see that employers are really keen to recruit students who've been taught the Leicester way. Now, before we go, there's an opportunity for you to ask questions too. I'm not sure if we've had many questions in the chat, so perhaps now is the time for a bit of inspiration. You can see on screen some words that might inspire you about the kind of things that you might want to know about.
So happy for you to put your mic on, or if you wanted to put something in the chat, either would be great if you've got anything. And while we've got Kasim as well, if you want to ask one of our students, it's a really good opportunity.
Perhaps while you're typing in the chat, I often get questions, what do I need to read before I come? And you don't need to read anything ready for the course. Doesn't matter if you've studied law or not, you don't need to get up to speed with law. But many students do want to, and we have a web page that sets out some ideas. I think it's more important that you learn how to think like a lawyer, how to think like a law student. And the books that I've suggested on screen that you can see, perhaps take a screenshot of now, will be really helpful for you. Yeah, so I've seen a question from Judy asking about support for those students with additional needs. We have a team called the Accessibility course. So it's like accessibility, but it's got an A in the middle instead. And once you've accepted your place, you'll get a referral to them if you have noted down on your UCAS form that you have a disability. If you have additional needs that are not a disability, then we have a law support team. The law support team is a team of professional specialists who are very well accustomed to supporting law students through their academic studies and signposting them to the particular specialists, perhaps mental health support, thanks for the link, Emma, or for academic practice, referring to an expert within the law school itself or within the wider services that are provided by the Students' Union and the university. So if you do want to discuss your particular needs, you can drop us a line to law@le.ac.uk and we can make sure that you're put in touch with the right team. And I guess some of those needs might be a little personal, but so I can give you some insight into the kind of support if you'd like to know. Thanks for the link, Emma. Now,
Kasim, did you want to take that one about things to do in Leicester?
Oh yeah, brilliant. So like I always said, Leicester's quite a small city, which is quite useful because you can kind of walk everywhere. Yeah, which I find quite handy. But yeah, like you said, we've got a town centre, we've got the High Cross shopping centre. That's like a really nice modern sort of, you've got John Lewis, you've got an Apple, that kind of stuff, as well as obviously all the clothes shops that you would normally expect, like Urban Outfitters, you've got a big Zara, that kind of thing in the shopping centre. You've also got the sort of wider, like you've got the lanes, which are more like your independent shops, your vintage clothes stores, stuff like that, which I know sort of students gravitate towards. In terms of sort of nightlife, there's a couple of clubs. It hasn't got loads of clubs, but what they've got is good. There's, you know, good, definitely easy to have a good time. There's a lot of nice bars as well if you maybe want something a bit more like refined. There's also obviously, as Edward mentioned, there's the O2 Academy on campus. Every Wednesday they have a sort of social night. So if you're part of a sports society or if you're part of a larger society, they do sort of a social, like a pre before they go to the O2. That's a big thing you definitely want to get involved in if that is something that you're interested in. So if you joined any sort of sports society or anything like that, that's an easy way to get in. But you can just go anyway. Yeah, Wednesday night's a big night for the O2. And as well as that, you've got Botanical Gardens in the by the village. You've got yeah, jungle golf, like you said. Yeah, there's lots to do, and it's like very manageable as a city. Like it's not something you're gonna feel too overwhelmed by or feel like you get sort of swallowed by. I think it's a city that, you know, you can kind of conquer in a way. It's definitely a city that you can feel like you've got to grips with quite quickly. Yeah, it's a lovely city.
Yeah, so Erin, if there's anything in particular that you really like to do and you want to let us know what that is, we might be able to tell you or confirm what's available in Leicester, or take a query through law@le.ac.uk, or get in touch with our students on the Unibuddy system, le.ac.uk/chat. Emily's asked about extenuating circumstances. I'm assuming that you're talking about exams that are coming up or exams that you've sat recently. then it's to the admissions team. So admissions@le, I'm just typing it, at le.ac.uk. Make sure that we've got any supporting evidence, whether that's from a doctor or from your school. And then when it comes to results day, I get your results about 7 days before you do, and then I'll be able to have a look at those circumstances and make a decision that's right for you. It's all that sort of thing that I basically spend about 3 or 4 days just before results day, making sure that we've taken into account everybody's situation and make the right decisions. Right, well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And thank you, Kasim and Emma. It's been great to see you, and I look forward to seeing everybody in real life. So see you in September.